Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Thursday, February 27th. I am Bishop Darrell Watkins, the senior minister here at Sunshine Cathedral. With me today is Bishop Robert Griffin, Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, and Reverend Kevin Tisdall, all of whom minister with me here at Sunshine Cathedral. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about Sunshine Cathedral. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We also have our own YouTube channel. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We will produce the 25th anniversary of Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th. Pride Fed, Diversity Pride in August, and now the near 50th anniversary of Pride Fort Lauderdale in February. We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. The Queer God Squad is unique in that we apply critical thought to religion while still embracing what is good about religion, and all in support of the QQIAA+ community. If you enjoy the Queer God Squad, help us reach more people by sharing this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities.
This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. Trans righteous warriors disrespected on LGBTQ site. References to transgender and queer people were recently erased from the Stonewall National Monument's webpage. This came after Donald Trump made anti-trans executive orders. The Stonewall National Monument's webpage used to say, and I'm quoting, LGBTQ+, end quote. It now reportedly only says, again quoting, LGB, end quote. Trump is trying to erase trans people from history. It is particularly egregious to remove trans from Stonewall, the hallowed ground where the Stonewall Rebellion led by drag artists, cross-dressers, trans women, lesbians, and gay men occurred in 1969. Without trans people, we wouldn't have the defining Stonewall moment. This is an insult to the LGBTQ+ community, to trans and non-binary people in particular, and it is an attempted alteration of history, or so it seems to the Queer God Squad. The Stonewall Inn and Stonewall Inn Give Back initiative released a joint statement declaring outrage at the removal of T and Q from the website, again quoting. This blatant act of erasure not only distorts the truth of our history, but it also dishonors the immense contributions of transgender individuals, especially transgender women of color, who were at the forefront of the Stonewall riots and the broader fight for LGBTQ+ rights, end quote, the statement read. So back in 1969, when I was just a little wee one, trans women, particularly trans women of color, but the transgender community, the non-binary community, gay men, lesbians, were fed up with it. They were raided again at the Stonewall Inn and they said, no more. We're not going to do this anymore. And so they fought back. They said, no more. This just is not going to happen. They put themselves on the line. And we have to honor that. You may think that this doesn't affect you, but it does. Yes. You have to honor, and you also have to follow their lead. I mean, they stepped up, they stepped out. Now it is our time to step up and step out. We must fight for their rights the same way that they fought for our rights back in 1969.
Yeah. As is our way in our community, like I remember that story. I mean, I was about 2.5 years old when it happened, so I don't remember it as it happened, but I remember the story with mixed, like I can cry and laugh almost at the same time because it was so brave and it was so new and it was so in the moment. It was organic, it was authentic, it was righteous, it was for the right reasons. But I can also laugh at it because it's almost like instead of a tank, people getting out of a clown car to fight their battle. You know what I mean? Just rolling out like these drag queens have always been sort of the clowns and fools and shamans,
Yes.
and priests, and you know they look different and they act different, so they can say things no one else can say. They can do things no one else can do. So they're both comical and super courageous and brave and mighty.
Ah.
And so I've often seen reenactments, and it was just people throwing a rock and screaming and running away, because when the police would come in, the people who knew the neighborhood would just walk around and then encapsulate the police because they knew the thing. And so it almost looks like the OJ chase, where it sounds exciting, and if you were in it, was, but you see, so, but I mean, I always imagine with just wigs flying and press-on nails flying, and that's our rocket red glare. But whether it looks exactly like that or not, it is what it is. It was the shot heard around the queer world.
Yes.
And it is absolutely reprehensible, I would even say sinful, to try to erase that. People risked their liberty. People risked their safety.
Right.
Because they were just tired. They were just tired of, they're in a safe space, but it can be invaded at any time. Someone doesn't pay the protection money, suddenly there's the police. And then of course they don't just come and put you in cuffs. There was a lot of humiliation, a lot of taunting, and it just was so ugly. And just one day, somebody, it might have been Stormy LaLarveray, but somebody said, "Not today, Satan. No, not today, Satan." And so, yes, we have to remember, and we have to tell the story, because one of the ways they try to oppress, try to control, try to shame, is by erasing you, by erasing your story, erasing your history, which is why history is not being allowed to be taught. That's why certain words aren't allowed to be said in our country with free speech, in certain places. So if they can erase you, if they can dehumanize you, if they can make you invisible, that is part of the power play. And one of the ways to fight back is, you may not want to throw a brick. I'm not going to advise anyone to throw a brick, but you can speak up.
Yes.
You can tell the story. Don't let the story be forgotten. Tell it to everyone you can. And when June runs around, when the last Sunday in June rolls around, make a big deal about it.
Yes, this year.
Yes.
Make a big deal about it.
I was 13 years old when Stonewall happened, and I remember it was all over the news, it was all over the newspapers, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking and I'm saying, oh heck, there are more people out there like me. Because I knew, even before I was a teenager, that I was attracted to same-sex relationships. So when I saw that the Stonewall uprising, Stormy always says, don't call it a riot. I think they said call it an uprising. Whatever they said, they made it a positive conversation. And I remember thinking, wow. So not only are there more people like me, we are beginning to say we have a right to be here. We have a right to be heard. And I think that's one of the most important things that these actions that this new administration is doing that is most harmful, that they are trying to take away our identity. They are trying to ignore that our people exists.
Right.
Trans people have been here forever. Trans people are not going anywhere. That trans people felt comfortable for a hot minute to say, I am who I am, is a positive thing. And I want to make sure that they always have a place that they can go where they can say who they are without worrying about somebody contradicting them. And guess where that is?
Guess where that is?
Sunshine Cathedral. And I mean it. I say it kind of funny, but Sunshine Cathedral is the place where everybody can come to and feel comfortable being themselves. You want to come dressed up, separate community, in drag, you can come. If you want to come and say, this is now who I am whoever you say you are, then this is the place where you do it. We don't look at you in a funny way. We look at you with love, saying, my goodness, thank goodness that you're able to say who you are. Thank goodness that you are able to come out and say, this is me, love me as I am, because I love myself. And as long as you exist, we will exist because we will work with you, fight with you, stand with you every possible way that we can. Sunshine Cathedral.
We standing there in floor-length white robes and stoles, and I guess we would judge what somebody else wore. Please.
Yes. Yes.
You know, the thing that gets me about this story is I want to believe that America is out of step with just about everything this president is doing, with just about everything, every executive order he's signing. I just don't think, just as me with rose-colored glasses on right now, yeah, the majority of those who voted him in.
Yeah.
But yet I do not believe that this is the desire of American people across the board, that we should take this attempt to really erase groups of people. And with these types of action, I think Donald Trump could care less about the T and the Q. It's that right-wing evangelical group that's pushing this in our nation and that in our entire agenda. And I think that we just have to be very clear. And I'm going to use the word queer as to include everybody at this particular point. The queer community is in the crosshairs of this government.
Yes.
We are the target. We are the focus. I do not know why. I don't understand why. I think sometimes the lady is protesting too loudly on some of this.
Could be.
And we just need to remind ourselves that there's a difference between an insurrection and an uprising. And I think that we need to be mindful about how we move forward positively and progressively. And when we say, going back to something, it's an uprising.
Right.
If
January 6th was an insurrection.
that's my point.
We need an uprising.
We need an uprising. So that's where I'm going with this. Like, so I think it's where we begin to think about what does our uprising look like, and it is not a January 6th. This is a reclaiming of people's dignity, of people's pride, and saying that we are going to stand up for all people's rights, especially in the queer community, because this is a topic that's right now, because they are the most on the attack. People on the margins who didn't know they was on the margins are now on the margins. And so this is about all of us. Where your little thing was about your little group of people on January 6th, this is about all of us. This
And nothing good comes from that tantrum they had and the violence of the people who hurt, and 5 officers or whatever died within the next few days or whatever. That was, nothing good comes from that. No, you didn't do anything good. And so when you have an uprising, you want it to be principled, and you want, when it's over, it mattered. Something good came of it. So that's the big difference, I think. And 32%, I think, voted for him, 31% for his opponent. It was that close, that razor close. And then 36% didn't vote at all. More than a third didn't vote at all. Y'all are killing us.
Yes.
Better, you should have made it a landslide rather than a slim victory for him than not vote at all. Vote for somebody every single time. This apathy, because if you vote for someone who has no chance, so you're not even on all 50 ballots. If you vote for someone who has no chance, or you don't vote at all, you've actually voted for the person with the slim majority. And in this case, it was him. And so your hands aren't clean.
That's right. That's right.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida AIDS Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra-deluxe 170,000-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025. The cruise is for the Florida AIDS Walk. Your participation helps 13 vital beneficiaries in our community. The cruise is an incredible value, starting at just $199, and is also a fundraiser for the Sunshine Cathedral. Parties, special events, and more aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun, this vital cruise for good.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about.
Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that. We are all in this together.
Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad.
Goodbye.